The stars of the Galactic Council glowed above a golden hall that floated between two suns. Thousands of alien races filled the chamber, tall insect-like creatures with crystal wings, gray-skinned elders with glowing eyes, and beings made of light and gas. Each of them carried pride. Each believed their species was the center of the universe. In the middle of the great hall, the chair of the council struck a silver staff. A deep sound echoed across the chamber, and every voice fell silent. On the center screen, the image of one small blue planet appeared, Earth. The chair spoke in a calm but cold tone. Humanity, the youngest race to reach the stars. They spread faster than any species before. They build, they trade, they teach, but they also fight when they are challenged. We must act before it is too late. The words spread through the hall like thunder. Some nodded in agreement. Others whispered. A few hesitated but still raised their claws, wings, or metallic arms to vote. One by one, every light on the voting board turned red. The color of domination. It meant only one thing. Earth would be enslaved. The chair turned toward the assembly. It is decided. Humanity will serve the council for its own safety. The vote was final. Every species, even those who once traded with humans, agreed. Fear had won. Far across the stars, on the blue planet shown on the screen, humanity watched in silence. Every broadcast channel, every satellite, and every colony received the same message. The people of Earth stood together as they heard the sentence spoken against them. For the first time, there was no laughter, no shouting, no disbelief. Only a quiet stillness. In the capital city, leaders gathered inside a dark meeting hall. They were from every nation, yet they looked at one another as if seeing true unity for the first time. The president of United Earth Command stood up and said softly, "So this is what they think of us. They see us as tools, not equals. They want to chain us because they fear our freedom." A scientist with tired eyes spoke next. "They forget something important. We have always done the impossible. We rose from caves to cities. We built ships to cross oceans and later stars. When we are pushed, we learn faster than anyone." A quiet murmur filled the room. There was fear, yes, but also fire. The people in that room knew history. Humanity had faced disasters before: ice ages, wars, famine, disease. Yet they always came back stronger. That night, the United Earth Command sent a signal to every colony, base, and station beyond Earth. The message was short and simple. We do not kneel. We prepare. Those 5 words became a secret anthem across the solar system. On Mars, engineers stopped their regular mining tasks and began building underground hangars. On the Moon, old research stations came alive again with blue light as ancient machines hummed after decades of sleep. In the deep oceans of Earth, hidden labs worked on new forms of defense, quiet, invisible, and brilliant. They were not preparing for war in the usual way. They were preparing for something higher, for survival through knowledge. Meanwhile, in the dark corners of the galaxy, the alien coalition prepared their fleets. Giant warships with glowing cannons were being filled with soldiers. They believed the humans would be easy to capture, a young species too emotional and disorganized to resist. An insectoid admiral of the Kieran Empire said proudly, "They will surrender before our ships even reach their sun." "They are brave but foolish," the others agreed. They had never faced humans in a true test of endurance. Back on Earth, children played in schoolyards under clear skies, not knowing that fleets were coming. But adults knew. They smiled and continued their daily lives as if nothing had changed. Farmers worked in fields, scientists wrote equations, and soldiers trained quietly. There was no panic because humans understood something deep. Fear gives the enemy power. Calm takes it away. Every scientist and engineer on the planet received access to something called the Gaia Code Project, an old experiment that had started decades ago, meant to connect the energy patterns of human thought with the natural frequencies of Earth itself. It was once a dream for peaceful technology. Now it became a shield. The project united millions of minds working as one. Using new algorithms, they turned human brainwave patterns into energy signatures that could move through space like invisible ripples. The goal was not destruction but protection, to make Earth unreadable and unreachable by hostile scanners. Soon, strange lights appeared over continents, blue lines moving in patterns that no one outside Earth could understand. To alien eyes, it looked like chaos. To humans, it was coordination. From orbit, satellites saw entire regions glowing in rhythm. like a heartbeat across the planet. It was as if Earth itself was alive and waiting. When the alien fleets came closer, their sensors began to fail. They could not map the surface. They could not read human signals. It was like trying to look through fog that bent light and time itself. Inside one of the ships, an alien technician shouted, "Their planet is shifting. I can't get a lock," the commander hissed. "Impossible. They don't have the technology." But they did. Humanity had always hidden its greatest strength, the ability to think as one when it truly mattered. Every colony, every city, and every person with access to a screen received the same pulse message that night. 3 soft tones, followed by a single word. Together. No orders. No speeches. Just one word that carried all meaning. As the alien fleets watched, Earth grew brighter, surrounded by a halo of golden light that spread slowly into space. To them, it was a mystery. To humans, it was hope, a symbol that they were ready. When the Galactic Council sent another broadcast demanding surrender, the reply came not from a government or general, but from a calm, steady voice of a teacher from a small town. Her message was translated into every alien language. "We were born free. We live free. If you come to chain us, you will learn what freedom truly means." The broadcast ended. No threats, no anger, and only calm defiance. Across the stars, alien leaders laughed at the simplicity of the message. They did not understand that humans meant every word. Back on Earth, the skies grew quiet. The world prepared for what was coming, not with fear, but with focus. Scientists kept working. Pilots checked their ships. Families looked at the stars not as enemies, but as challenges waiting to be faced. The alien fleets believed they would win in days. They had no idea that those quiet days on Earth were the start of something the galaxy had never seen. The awakening of a species that refused to be broken, and somewhere deep under the mountains, inside a hidden command center, a single light blinked on a dark screen. A voice whispered in the shadows, full of calm strength. "Phase 1 complete. The galaxy will soon understand." Outside, the blue planet turned slowly under the light of the sun, peaceful and beautiful. A world that looked defenseless but held within it the fire of every human heart. No one in the stars yet knew it, but the day the Council voted to enslave Earth was the same day the universe changed forever. The stars above Earth were no longer calm. From the edge of the solar system, massive alien ships had arrived, silver giants that carried the flags of every member of the Galactic Council. Their glowing thrusters lit the blackness of space like false suns. Each fleet commander believed this would be an easy victory. They called it the one-day operation. All they had to do was cross the human defense line, take control of communication satellites, and force Earth to sign the Treaty of Service. Inside the lead ship, a tall insectoid commander named Vashrik looked at a hologram of Earth. His mandibles clicked with satisfaction. "Such a small world," he said. "How noisy it once was. Soon it will be quiet." But Vashrik didn't notice the strange signals passing through his ship's instruments. He didn't see the soft waves of energy reflecting back from Earth in a rhythm that no alien code could read. Down on the planet, humanity was quiet, but not afraid. Factories worked day and night not to build new weapons but to strengthen what they already had. Robots carried parts to hidden facilities, and engineers built something called the Veil, a massive invisible field powered by Earth's magnetic core. In the deserts of Australia, scientists tested fragments of the Veil. When activated, drones vanished from scanners. When deactivated, they returned unharmed. It wasn't a weapon. It was a wall of confusion, turning every enemy sensor blind. A young engineer named Mara Torres stood in the control room. She'd been working for weeks without sleep, her hair tied back, eyes red from light screens. She whispered, "Just a few more seconds," and pulled the final lever. Above her, satellites blinked once and vanished from alien detection. All across the world, the Veil came alive, soft, invisible, perfect. The next day, the alien fleets tried to scan the planet. Their sensors failed completely. "Report," Vashrik ordered. "Sir," said a technician nervously. "The humans, they are gone." Vashrik laughed harshly. "Gone? The entire species?" "I mean their signals, sir. Their satellites show nothing. Their energy patterns make no sense." The commander frowned. "Maybe they are surrendering already. Prepare the landing craft." But when the smaller ships descended into Earth's atmosphere, strange things began to happen. Instruments went wild. Compasses turned in circles. The sky filled with flashing lights that appeared and disappeared without warning. Pilots tried to communicate, but their voices echoed back to them in human language, recordings of their own words twisted into soft messages. Turn back. Turn back. No one could explain it. On the ground, humans watched the alien confusion with calm focus. In underground command centers, officers tracked everything. Each time an alien ship fired its engines, humans mirrored its signal back at double strength, tricking their sensors and draining their energy. In a secret base beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Marcus Hale stood before a large display filled with alien ship icons. "They see ghosts," he said quietly. "Keep it that way." A young analyst replied, "Sir, some of their ships are firing at each other." "They think we're everywhere," the general smiled faintly. "Good. Let them chase shadows." At that moment, across the galaxy, the Council began receiving confused messages from their fleets. Every commander reported the same thing: hallucinations on scanners, energy loss, and communication breakdowns. The chair of the Council grew angry. "These humans are tricksters. Crush them." But no one could. The humans had turned technology itself into their defense. The same frequencies that the aliens used to control their ships were now filled with coded waves of human origin. The Gaia Code Project, once meant for peace, now resonated across space like a heartbeat. In orbit, Earth seemed wrapped in soft light. Alien drones tried to cross it but vanished from radar. When they returned, they were powerless, their memory systems erased clean. Admiral Vashrik slammed his claws on the console. "Find out what they are doing." His science officer shook her head. "Sir, the humans are using resonance. They are reflecting our energy back at us, reshaping it," Vashrik roared. "Then change the frequency." But every new frequency the aliens tried was instantly copied and answered by Earth. It was as if the humans could hear their thoughts through the stars. Meanwhile, on the moon, small human outposts observed everything. From one of the domes, a young technician named Lee Carter stared at the glowing Earth. "Looks peaceful," he said softly. "Hard to believe they're trying to invade us." His commander, a calm woman named Admiral Tessa Morgan, replied, "That's what they never understand about humans. We don't fight for power. We fight for home." Inside the Council fleet, chaos was spreading. Ships drifted off course. Navigation systems turned against their captains. Holograms of human faces appeared on control screens, calm, unafraid. One alien pilot shouted, "They are inside our network." "No," replied his superior quietly. "They are the network." Because of their connection through the Gaia Code, human minds across planets, colonies, and ships were now linked in one invisible grid. It was not forced control, it was harmony. Every thought, every signal, every emotion moved like waves in water, guiding their actions without orders. The alien leaders could not understand how. To them, control came from the top. But humans had built something different: unity without command. In the following days, alien ships began to fail one after another. Engines shut down without reason. Weapons overheated. And through every malfunction, one message kept appearing on their screens, written in calm human script. "You voted to enslave us. We voted to endure." Across the galaxy, panic grew. Fleets that once ruled 1,000 worlds were now lost near one small blue planet that refused to surrender. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, voices rose in anger and fear. "Their technology is unstable," shouted one. "They are breaking the laws of physics," said another. But an old being, wise and slow, whispered the truth. "They are not breaking the laws. They are understanding them in ways we never did." Back on Earth, humanity watched and waited. They could have attacked. They could have destroyed. But that was not their goal. The plan was simple: show the galaxy that humans could not be owned. As weeks passed, alien fleets ran out of supplies. They tried to call for help, but their messages never reached home. The humans had built a communication mirror that reflected every signal back toward the sender. Each distress call became a whisper in their own ears. Vashrik, once proud and confident, now sat in silence on his damaged ship. His crew stared at him, tired and afraid. "Sir," one of them said, "should we surrender?" He looked at Earth again. The planet glowed with a soft golden light. Even from space it looked alive, not as a target but as something greater. Vashrik closed his eyes and said softly, "I think we already have." On the surface, people continued with their lives. Children went to school. Families gathered at dinner tables. The sky looked normal. Only a few knew the truth, that above them floated hundreds of alien ships trapped and helpless. In a quiet research lab, Mara Torres listened to faint signals echoing from orbit. "They're learning," she said. Her mentor nodded. "Good. Let them see what real strength looks like, and not power, but peace." And somewhere deep beneath the mountains, General Hale received a final encrypted message from the United Earth Command. Phase 2 initiated. Maintain calm. No aggression. Earth had no interest in revenge. Humanity's goal was higher, to teach the galaxy that freedom and unity were stronger than fear and control. The war that every species had expected never came. Instead, there was silence, deep, endless, and full of understanding. The galaxy had tried to enslave humanity. But in that silence, it began to realize a truth it could never forget. Humans could not be conquered because they never stopped believing in each other. The golden light around Earth grew brighter with every passing day. From far away, it looked like the planet was wearing a crown. The fleets that came to conquer now floated powerless in orbit, their engines cold, their weapons quiet, their pride broken. Inside the largest alien ship, Admiral Vashrik sat in silence. His long claws no longer tapped on metal. His mind was heavy with thoughts he could not escape. Every time he looked down at Earth, he saw a world that had done what no empire ever could: win without destroying. Messages were sent to Earth again and again, begging for a reply. None came. The silence was harder to face than any battle. Across the galaxy, other fleets began returning home, or tried to. But their communication systems no longer worked unless humanity allowed them to. The entire network of the Galactic Council had been rewritten through resonance energy. Earth now controlled the channels that once ruled the stars. On the surface of Earth, people lived calmly. There were no parades, no celebrations. Scientists kept studying the energy field, and leaders met quietly to discuss the next steps. Humanity had power, yes, but they also had wisdom. In a meeting under the United Earth Command, General Marcus Hale looked at a room filled with representatives from every human colony. He said, "We could rule them now. Every world in the Council would bow to us if we wished." Mara Torres, the engineer who helped build the Veil, replied softly, "But that would make us like them. We didn't fight to rule. We fought to be free." Her words filled the room with silence. Then slowly every person nodded. A plan was made, not for revenge but for peace. A message was prepared for the Galactic Council. It was sent through the same network the aliens once used to issue orders. Now it carried the voice of a single human, Ambassador Elena Rios. Her voice was calm and warm as it spread through the stars. "To the Council," she began, "you voted to enslave us. You feared what we might become. But what you see now is not revenge. It is understanding. You taught us how far fear can go. Now let us show you how far mercy can reach." Every alien world received her message. Every leader listened. And for the first time in galactic history, the Council was silent. Not because of command, but because of shame. On dozens of planets, alien citizens watched her broadcast. She stood in a simple gray suit with no weapons, no crown, no sign of superiority. "We will not keep your ships. We will not destroy your worlds," she said. "But you will remember this. Strength without kindness leads only to emptiness. We choose kindness." The message ended with only 2 words: "Be better." Those words became famous in every language. Children of alien races began repeating them. The galaxy had never seen such victory. A victory without conquest. A triumph without cruelty. Months later, the Council met again. Their grand hall, once filled with arrogance, now felt smaller. Every representative arrived with humble faces. The chair of the Council, who once called Earth dangerous, now spoke with a trembling voice. "We were wrong," he said quietly. "We judged them without knowing them." One by one, the delegates stood and bowed their heads toward the hologram of Earth glowing at the center of the room. In the back of the chamber, Admiral Vashrik sat alone. When the chair invited him to speak, he stood slowly. "When I led the fleet to Earth, I believed they would fight like animals," he said. "Instead, they fought with peace. They blinded us not with light, but with truth. We saw our weakness in their strength." The room was silent. Every being there understood. From that day, the Galactic Council created a new rule. No species, no matter how small or young, could ever be enslaved or controlled again. The rule was named the Human Accord. Meanwhile, back on Earth, life continued quietly. Factories returned to normal work. Farmers tilled the soil again. The golden veil that once protected the planet now stretched outward, helping to stabilize nearby worlds with healing energy. In the control room of the Gaia Code Project, Mara Torres looked at the readings. "The field is spreading naturally," she said. "It's helping other planets heal their damaged climates." Her mentor smiled. "We built it to protect ourselves, but maybe it was meant to protect more than us." Ships from alien worlds began to visit Earth again, not as conquerors, but as guests. They came carrying gifts, seeking to learn how humans had turned fear into harmony. Ambassador Elena Rios greeted them with open arms. She led them through peaceful gardens, showed them cities powered by clean energy, and explained the story of humanity, how they had suffered and survived. One alien asked her, "Why didn't you destroy us when you could?" She smiled gently. "Because destruction ends stories. Mercy begins new ones." The alien lowered his head, unable to find words. Over time, Earth became the heart of a new era. The Galactic Council moved its meetings to orbit above the blue planet, not out of fear, but out of respect. Humans didn't sit on thrones. They sat beside every other species as equals. Even Admiral Vashrik, who once led the invasion, became a symbol of change. He asked to live on Earth to study human ways. He worked beside human scientists, learning how to build things instead of destroy them. Sometimes he stood on a mountain and looked up at the night sky. The stars seemed different now, softer, closer, like they were finally listening. He often remembered the day his fleet had surrounded this planet. He had seen it as weak. Now he knew better. The humans were never weak. They were just quiet until they had something worth saying. Years later, school children across the galaxy learned about the Earth incident. Teachers would tell the story of the young species that faced the entire universe and won not through power, but through courage and heart. One phrase was written on monuments in every world. "They showed us mercy when we deserved none." Even the Council's anthem changed. The new song ended with a line written by a human poet. "Let every world remember, freedom shines brightest when shared." And so the galaxy entered an age of peace. There were still disagreements, still challenges, but never again did anyone speak the word enslavement. Humanity had erased it not by force, but by example. On quiet nights, as Earth turned slowly under the stars, people could look up and know that the universe had learned something from them. Not fear, not power, but respect. General Marcus Hale, now an old man, stood on his porch one evening looking at the sky. His granddaughter ran up to him and asked, "Grandpa, is it true you once helped save the world?" He smiled and picked her up. "No, sweetheart. The world saved itself. We just remembered who we were." She looked up at the stars. "Do they still fear us?" He laughed softly. "No, they trust us now. That's better." Above them, the stars twinkled quietly, peaceful witnesses to a lesson that would never fade. Humanity had been the youngest among the stars, yet they had become the teachers. They had shown that true strength is not in weapons but in wisdom, and that mercy, the thing every empire had forgotten, was the power that could change the whole galaxy. And from that day onward, no one in the universe ever again voted to enslave Earth. They had learned the hard way that mercy was not weakness. It was humanity's greatest victory.